warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Hardiana. I'm from PBI 34 2018. Well, in this video, I will explain about the first is English for specific purposes now. The second is the development of English for specific purposes journal. And the third is the future of English for specific purposes. And the last is English for specific purposes in Indonesia. Yang pertama yaitu English for specific purposes now. In other branch of ELT and many other human activities, there is now acceptance of many different approaches and willingness to mix different types of material and methodologies. Ada kesepakatan bahwa ESP memiliki peran dalam English language teaching, and that is a movement which, while remaining firmly within the ELT or applied linguistics discipline, and has its own particular characteristic. According to Dudley Evans and St. John, it is now also taught by many non-native speakers yang mampu memanfaatkan their knowledge of the institution in which they are working and of students' learning styles and preference. Dudley Evans and St. John menekankan bahwa satu perubahan besar telah memunculkan business English as a major strand of ESP teaching. Pertumbuhan terbesar ESP adalah English for Science and Technology, and it has often been remarked that Swell's episodes in ESP is essentially a history of ESP. Yang kedua yaitu the development of English specific purposes journal. Hasil dari penelitian yang dilakukan oleh Martin Hewing dalam jurnal ESP yaitu ada dua. Yang pertama, authors and geographical origins of papers, and the second is the topic of papers. Baik, yang pertama yaitu authors and geographical origins of papers. The following figure shows the country of origin of the papers, broken down initially into the percentage from red color is United States, and green color is United Kingdom, and a black color is other country. Terlihat jelas bahwa ada peningkatan pada percentage of papers yang berasal dari United States and United Kingdom. You can see in my picture, in volume 1.5, some 40% from the United States and 25 from the United Kingdom, and black color or other country is 35%. And you can see in volume 16.20, the percentage for the United States is 19%, and United Kingdom is 12%, and dan persentase dari other country meningkat sampai dengan 70%. It is possible that this reflects two main trends. The first is the growth of ESP work around the world, and the second is the acceptance of ESP as a recognized academic discipline in tertiary institutions. Yang kedua yaitu topics of papers. For initial overview of the topics focused on in ESPJ, the papers are divided into those dealing with ESP in general, including papers, for example, training ESP teacher and so on. English for academic purposes as EAP. Di sini kita dapat melihat ESP berwarna merah, dan EAP warna hijau atau EST, dan English for Occupational Purposes atau EOP berwarna pink. Kita dapat melihat hasil dari bagian ini, yaitu pada bagian ini telah terjadi penurunan yang ditandai dalam proportion of papers that look at ESP in general. EOP khususnya in business context telah terjadi peningkatan yang tetap sesuai dengan papers. However, perubahan yang paling mencolok adalah meningkatnya papers tentang aspek EAP yang berwarna hijau, yang mencapai sampai dengan 80% di volume 16-20. You can see in my picture. Beberapa alasan yang dapat menggambarkan tren ini, yaitu yang pertama penurunan the general ESP, dan yang kedua yaitu the main location of ESP research around the world, the universities and other tertiary education institution. Dan yang terakhir yaitu the latest point is that it is EAP rather EOP that has grown significantly at the expense of articles in general ESP. Dan yang ketiga adalah the future of ESP. Beberapa tren yang akan terus mempengaruhi perkembangan ESP for the next decade, yaitu yang pertama internationalization. Kemungkinan besar penelitian dan praktek ESP akan terus menyebar secara geografis. That reports of work in Eastern and Mediterranean Europe and in China will represent particular areas of growth. Dan yang kedua yaitu specialization. More specific contexts are being analyzed, reflecting the increasing specialization of ESP course. Dan yang ketiga yaitu growth of business English. Keempat, continue influence of genre analysis, corpus analysis, and systematic functional linguistic. And the last is the effect of English as an international language. And the last is ESP in Indonesia. Di Indonesia, permintaan pengajaran bahasa Inggris telah meningkat baik di sektor swasta maupun di lembaga formal. Meskipun permintaan pengajaran bahasa Inggris meningkat, akan tetapi this situation has not involved sufficient research in ESP. Jadi, pembenaran atau bukti yang harus dicari dalam analisis kondisi ESP di Indonesia saat ini adalah whether studies or research on the need to use English at the national has been done. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you very much, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.